Hello everyone, today I'm on another landscape and wildlife photography trip. I just departed Montreal and I am so happy to be getting out of the city. I think like once I stay in the city for a few days or like a month on end, I just don't enjoy it anymore. All I can think about is just going to nature, getting out and just exploring. So today I'm going on a trip and it's my first day and I'm really excited because this time I'm doing things differently than what I usually do. Usually like I rent campsites in different national parks, and before departing I know exactly where I'm gonna be for a certain amount of time in each park. This time I'm going open-ended and I'm gonna explore all the places that I want to, but I'm not renting any campsites. I think this time I'm just gonna look for free campsite along the way, camp in my Jeep, try to save some money on the campsites, because given the way things are, you know, these days with the prices of everything, food, gas, insurance, even camping got a little bit more expensive, not by much, but if you're camping for a while, 2 weeks or more, it can add up the cost of camping, and that could be all used for gas to get you to the next location. So this time I've changed up the way I do things. I'm going on a little bit of an adventure, and yeah, I don't have any set mind of how long I'm gonna stay in the places that I'm gonna visit. It all depends on how the photography is going, how I feel, you know, how the conditions are. If I'm having fun, I'll stay longer. If I want what I wanted to photograph, I didn't achieve it, I want to try again. So basically it's open-ended, and it's kind of fun when you think about it. There's freedom in it, you know. For example, sometimes I used to go to a location and I know, okay, I have to make it there by sunset. And if I spot something on the way that piques my interest, I'm tempted to stop and wait for the right light, the right conditions, but then I'm gonna be arriving late. So I tend to just ignore it, even though my temptation to stop was there. I tend to ignore it and stick to my destination. But when you don't have a set plan, you can pretty much stop anywhere, explore the places that you want to, sleep overnight, and then go on to the location the day after. Like, there's freedom in it, so it's really fun to think about that. And this is why I'm excited for this trip, because I have no set plan. I could be going for a month, maybe 2 months, maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 weeks, who knows. Like, this is the exciting part about it. And I'm going from Montreal all the way east. In order to actually do this trip effectively and cost effectively, meaning do it all the way, not pay for any campsites for the whole month or whatever time I'm away, is I modified my setup a little bit. Usually, for those of you that know me, I have a rooftop tent on my Jeep Wrangler. And usually at campsites, I open it up, I sleep in it, it's really comfortable. But like, given the fact that I'm, you know, sleeping on the road, sleeping in different places that allow it, I don't know what the conditions of place is gonna be. Maybe it's not ideal to open up the rooftop tent, and maybe it's very obvious that you're obviously camping and sleeping. And yeah, so I kind of modified my setup inside the Jeep to have like a sleeping platform inside for those days or those nights where I need more stealth camping. That's gonna help me along the way. And it's very simple. Like, I already have the kitchen set up in the front. I just extended it to have a bit of a sleeping platform on one side, put the seats down, lay down the platform and be able to sleep. And just with a simple modification, and I bought an air mattress that can fit my Jeep, I'm pretty good to go. Like, I've tested it out, it's pretty comfortable. So, you know, sometimes you might not, you never know. So it's like a backup plan. Obviously, if I can sleep in the tent, it's more comfortable. But if not, I have this as a backup. So that actually works well. And it's something that I'll use even later in the season when there's no more campsites and maybe I'm winter camping. I might sleep in the car because it's warmer than sleeping in the rooftop tent. So when in the winter time, if I'm going on a photography trip and I'm having some fun in a park, I might just extend my trip and sleep in my car, you know, because, like, you know, also like renting cabins is getting expensive, and winter camping maybe is going to be limited to certain locations and kind of hard with, you know, you need like good equipment. I'm going to use an app called iOverlander. I'm sure you're maybe familiar with it, to find the locations where I'm shooting nearby. to camp. And yeah, so it depends on which locations, what's available around, what's legal. Other than the sleeping platform inside my car, which I'm really happy about, you know, it gives me some ease of mind knowing that I'll always have a place to sleep no matter what the situation I might encounter. The other modification I did was I installed a solar panel on my roof rack, because the last time I had to waste a lot of time recharging my battery that I use for charging devices, keeping my fridge turned on. So this time I installed the solar panel, I wired it through to the Jeep, so every time while I'm driving, while I'm parked up, my battery is topped up with the sun, and this way my fridge keeps running and I don't have to think twice about it. I can just, you know, focus on the photography, focus on the filmmaking, and yeah, just putting these videos together. That's my goal at the beginning. I don't want to waste my time doing chores like charging up devices, and you know, usually I do that at night if I have to charge my camera gear, and usually in the middle of the day if I ever have to do some dishes or laundry on this trip, I will do it in a time where I'm not taking pictures. So right now I'm on the road. Our first stop is gonna be Bic National Park. It's about 5-hour drive from here, 518 kilometers. So I'm excited, you know, that's my first pit stop. I might stay a couple of days there, explore, look for some landscape, look for some seals to photograph. You know, seals at low tide, that'd be really nice if they're perched up on the rocks. And yeah, try to see whatever else I can find in terms of wildlife and landscape as well. So yeah, on to my first pit stop, and gonna do a Tim Hortons coffee stop for sure. After about 5.5 hours of driving from Montreal, I'm glad to say I finally arrived at my first pit stop, which is in Bic National Park. So right now I've come to a bay here in Bic National Park, and it's currently like about approaching low tide, so the bay is kind of emptied out and there's a lot of rocks that are exposed, and just to my luck there's like maybe 10 or 20 seals perched on the rocks, and this is kind of what I wanted to photograph here in this park. And today is kind of, right now the sun hasn't set yet. I have about like maybe an hour before sunset, so the timing works really well to try to get some pictures. But right now it's a bit harsh, but it's gonna get softer when the sun drops, and that's when I think I'll be able to create some nice images. It's fun to observe them in nature, but there's a lot of them, and when I arrived they were making this kind of noise. They were like either fighting or barking at each other and now they've gone quiet. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get a few more shots, maybe move somewhere where I can be a bit closer and just kind of wait out the light here, see if it gets any less harsh. But it's kind of situated nicely because the sun's setting to my left, and it's kind of giving some nice side light on all the animals. So I moved a little bit to the side here to be as close as I can to the seals perched on the rocks. And there's just one seal that's the closest that I'm gonna focus on photographing perched on the rock at sunset around then. And there's a limit here. There's signs everywhere saying where the limit of the observation point is. So I don't want to break it. So I tried to get as close as I can around the bay here. I think this is a good spot. The light's getting really nice right now on the seals, and it's like I said, it's a nice side light striking them from the profile, so It's really, really nice. It's too bad they're not really close here. I would have loved to get some shots of them kind of like filling the frame. But I make do with what I got, and it's my first day here, so definitely to find seals on the first day, I'm super happy. The light right now is getting really, really nice. It's that nice side light. The sun is getting low in the horizon, and it's kind of lighting up the profiles of the seal as they're perched on the rocks. Like I said, I do wish I can get a bit closer, or they were perched closer on the rocks, but that's all right. Today's kind of like my first day here, and I was kind of lucky to find some seals to photograph. This was kind of my plan. Coming here was, I want to find seals, I want to photograph them, and there's plenty of choice here. I think I'm gonna do after the sun sets, which I have like a few minutes before that happens, is I'm gonna keep taking some pictures here, and yeah, I'll leave you guys with the pictures I got, the best ones. I did take a lot, some on a tripod, some handheld, because I wanted to make sure at least I have one good one. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back tomorrow morning at sunrise, same spot. It's gonna be around low tide too, and yeah, try to photograph them some more. Maybe I can get close-up shots of the seals. Like, I'm really looking forward to get some unique images of this animal, and yeah, I'm gonna keep trying till I achieve that. So today might not be the day that I did do that, but it was a good fun exercise to try. And yeah, and fun to observe them in their natural habitat. I always forget, it's always good to try different angles. Like, I was always shooting standing up looking at the seals, but going down also and looking straight across the water at them, it's much more pleasing. So I'm gonna try a few shots like this, but it might be too late because the light's almost at the end, but I'm gonna remember that for tomorrow morning. Hopefully I'll get some better shots from today, because I'm not really sure how good these shots are. You know, they might be all right, there might be some winners in there, but I can't really tell before going back and check. I just hope I at least have one good one. I'm gonna take a few more shots here while the light's still there, and then gonna try to find a place to park up for the night and try out my new setup camping. I think there's a free campground nearby. I'm using the app iOverlander to find campsites around where I can camp for free. So I know I checked it really quick, I know there's one nearby, so definitely I'm gonna head back there, sleep for the night, and then make something to eat probably, and then come back here tomorrow morning at sunrise and see what I get. Yep. But it was really fun taking pictures of these animals. Oh man, I think this is worth the 5.5-hour drive just to see these in action. Even if I don't get a good picture, I'm happy to have this first encounter. Yeah, definitely super exciting. I like it when I set out to do something and I find what I'm looking for from day one. It's like a good omen for me. Yeah, I'm excited to see what the rest of this trip brings. Hopefully I can get some better photos. I hope I do have a good shot in here, but I won't really be bummed out about it, because I feel like whenever you're photographing a new animal, you tend to learn about how to approach them, how to photograph them, and the second time around you'll do a bit better. So if I don't get a good photo in here, I'm not totally bummed out. Not sure if you can see that, but it's kind of a full moon today. Exciting. I'm kind of new to this whole free camping. Not used to it. It's kind of exciting going on vacation 5.5 hours from home and not knowing where you're gonna sleep makes it a little bit of an adventure. Good morning, everybody. So I made it back to the first bay. I came here yesterday to kind of photograph the seals at sunrise, and yeah, it's kind of currently low tide. I made it out on the riverbed as far as I can get to where the limit is, where the signs are, and there's a few seals perched up on the rocks. It's not like yesterday, not the same amount, but you know, they're within photographable distance, but I still wish I could get closer. But you know, I want to respect the rules, and rules are there for a reason. So definitely, as much as I would like to get closer, I'll have to do with what I got, and you know, try to get some shots today. Oh, we'll see when the sun rises over the horizon to my right, if it'll get some good light. And yeah, I'll wait that out and see what happens. It's a bit windy this morning, but not too bad. It was much more calmer yesterday, but still fun. Whew. You know, hand holding this lens, it doesn't get any easier. So it's a workout, hand holding this lens. It might seem bright on the camera, but the sun hasn't risen fully yet, and I'm just waiting to get like the best light. Nice morning photographing seals. And since I can't get any closer to the animal, I am including a little bit of the environment around, which is also very nicely situated. You got the sea, you got the rocks in the background, you got the islands. So it's definitely very pleasing to include that as well, like as an environmental wildlife photograph. Like, it doesn't have to be that the animal occupies all of the frame, but it would be nice to get shots like that too. It's kind of tempting to want to photograph these ripples in the water as some kind of texture for landscape shots, but I might do that on the few other days that I have here. Right now I'm just gonna focus on photographing the seals. It is best to observe the seals at low tide when they are perched on the rocks, with the tide times changing every day by about an hour. After the sunrise, I had one more sunset and sunrise to observe and photograph this animal in most ideal conditions, before switching on to photograph other things in the park, be it landscape or wildlife. And I did end up photographing those ripples in the sand at low tide as well, which made for some interesting photographs. Thank you everyone for watching, and stay tuned for more videos from this trip.